Hello and good evening. It's the Civil Savage 76, otherwise known as Rex Knickerbocker. I just wanted to jump right into it. Let's get into a prelude of what I want to speak to tonight. This is a status I recently posted on Facebook, and it reads like this. If you think you are going to adopt tyrannical and transient bylaws in order to disarm a country already looking down the barrel of increasingly hostile world superpowers in the midst of a multinational military escalation that has been unseen since World War II, well, guess what? You're a stupid motherfucker. Continuing, why is Australia locked down, you might ask? Because the bad guys, quote unquote, got the good guys' guns, and now the people have been herded like cattle in Warsaw, Poland, circa 1939. Laws don't stop criminals, nor does it reduce access for criminals. Just ask Lori Lightfoot this question. Pose that question to Lori Lightfoot. The woman who controls gun-grabbing, anti-2A, deep blue, woke leftist shithole sanctuary city, systemic policy failure-ridden Chicago. Yeah, go ask her about that. And moving on, we had some developments earlier that I wanted to show you. It actually has to do with how the shooting unfolded in Texas. Apparently, this kid was messaging people, posting stuff online that was major red flag. I'm very interested to try to figure out why exactly this information about this guy's intentions was known, accessible information. So therefore, knew or should have known can now be added into the context of this trending legal topic. Ample opportunity to act in response to what was perceived intent is present in this particular tragedy. And rest assured, this is a really horrible thing that happened. Now certain individuals and certain entities like Facebook could be implicated if the law required that they knew or should have known that somebody was making these kind of threats and making this kind of perceived intent known to other people who also had the obligation to report this. So going forward, this would actually dilute the notion that criminals with unusual access to firearms are the sole reason for these kind of shootings. That's actually quite a misnomer, and it's intentionally conflated to fit the left-wing anti-gun narrative. And that's what oftentimes these people do, is they take matters of gun ownership and they obfuscate it in order to fit the blueprint or the frameworks of their inherently fallible bullshit. Continuing and going forward, if there was in fact sufficient evidence available in terms of foreknowledge in advance to the shooting, the procurement of the gun itself lessens as a prioritized factor if there was a true chance for professionals or citizens to prevent this tragedy altogether. So the procurement of the weapon and the preventative measures in this particular legal context are not mutually exclusive concepts. This presents an issue to the argument that illicit procurement of firearms or legal procurement of firearms are the primary causes for issues like this. That's simply not the case. They're taking gun owners and they're demonizing them. Now you have that stupid bitch Kim Kardashian. It's truly abhorrent knowing that Kim shills for gun control, thinking her stance on this topic is remotely intelligent at all. Her sister's married to Travis Scott, who openly sacrifices people in the name of Moloch. The same A-list celebrities that shill for gun control are a bunch of blood-sucking, baby-butchering, human trafficking, adrenochrome drinking, smut-pushing, perversion-promoting, propaganda-peddling, dish-rag skifusas. Italian slang for dirty whores. And they also think they have the legal wisdom to flap their plastic-manufactured gums about an issue they have as much education on as Pee Wee Herman. That's a fucking joke. So you can take that off the table right now. It's a sickening clown world we live in. Demonizing gun ownership, presenting this unilateral push for global control. Why is this all happening right now, by the way? You have the Durham investigation. You have 2,000 mules that proved election fraud, Dinesh D'Souza. You have so many informational ships coming in, and you want to wonder why this all happened now. You know, the police actually stood down for 40 minutes straight while this kid carried out these atrocities in the school. That's not like the police at all. So my antenna naturally goes up to what's really going on here. They're triggering an emotional response out of the general population to move for this one size fits cure all solution to guns by taking them out of circulation, which is simply just going to arm the criminals that already want to take your rights away as it is. And so they can traffic weapons and they can continue to traffic children. These are the same people who want to take away your guns. These are the same mockingbird shill pieces of shit that want to disarm America because we're the last standing sovereign nation in the way of the global New World Order, where Klaus Schwab is going to come down in lederhosen and nipple clamps, and he's going to do the Schmierskahuven in the name of the New World Order and the genetic mutation program that the Patriots did not go for. So now we have to come up with new phase solution to the new world global world order. Like, all of the things have been put out there for you. Why is all this happening now? States' rights, Roe versus Wade, all of these things are coming up. Now it's gun ownership. They're going back to the same thing because they know their branch is running out and all the information is going to come out. They're all going to be implicated. They're willing to get people killed for an agenda to create a distraction. And it's very sad what happened. Don't get me wrong. It's very sad and dark and tragic. It should have never happened. You should have had an armed veteran or police that hang out at schools regularly. I don't know why there already aren't armed guards. You arm guards to guard banks. You arm guards to guard your little professional sports arenas. You arm guards to walk around shopping malls and different things, but you can't arm guards to protect children. Sounds like you really know what your fucking priorities are. So next time you want to demonize gun ownership or go after somebody because, oh, they're an angry right-wing blah, 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 or they're talking about this, they must be just a really angry person, and oh, they're muscular, and they're a white male, and da-da-da-da-da, and all the other, like, unfounded liberal rhetoric bullshit that I used to actually be subjected to. I was a liberal arts and communications and law major at UMass Liberal Boston. So if you think I'm coming out right now just to talk about all this for no reason, then I also have a Brooklyn Bridge to sell you. We'll go drive there now and I'll drop you off. It's yours to have tonight. So I would like you to really thoroughly consider stepping back from what are very valid and sad emotions to what happened, but realize this one-size blanket solution to taking guns out of circulation of the domestic population is not actually going to decrease shootings. In fact, it's going to increase them because criminals now won't have to think twice. Because an armed civilization is the product of a polite society. Remember that. So I just gave you a little rundown. Do what you will with these statements, because I know that I'm not the only one out there who thinks this way and realizes that you can't just have things your way because something didn't go right in the world. You actually have to step back and realize, what is this solution going to mean for other people who aren't the people you hear about in the news? So do your own research. I'm not your fucking library. I'm not your fucking dada. Do your research. Go and search the statistics behind gun ownership and see how much of a problem we really are. We're really not a problem. I promise you, your neighbor who's shooting out cans with his AR next door and his bump stock are far less dangerous than, some kid who lives in Chicago who bought a handgun. Why don't you go ask Lori Lightfoot about how her gun control narrative is working? A city that's already rigged with systemic policy failures and an increase in homicides by 450%. But that's another conversation for another day. In any case, I'm going to go and I'm going to enjoy a lovely lobster bisque. So I'll have more for you soon. This was the Civil Savage 76 signing off. You have a wonderful evening.